Good afternoon. Maya Uktu. Here's the plan. Yes, it's the afternoon. It has been raining all morning. And in the now well-established tradition of me trying to look after my elegantly coiffured hair and well-groomed facial features, I've tried to avoid going out in the rain. But since 6:15 this morning, it just hasn't stopped. And in fact, right now is about as light as it's been all day. So I finally had to do it, and here we are. So we'll have a look around. There will be more on fans, more on internal skim coating, more on the carport, maybe more lights. What, apart from more rain, could possibly go wrong? Inside the gym, we have a whole posse of people mixing up skim coat, adding skim coat. I can't really do much on the outside of the house today. It's just way too wet to do anything at all. So, there we go. We're off and running. We have a ceiling fan in the dirty kitchen, and this is actually quite a small ceiling fan. But the feeling is that if we have a larger one in here, it won't play well with the extraction hood for the oven. So we've kept it deliberately pretty small in here. Some of the other ones are a little larger. Like this one in the sunroom, where we have no aircon. So this needs to be a bit more beefy to try and get that air circulating more efficiently. Here's a very good bit of news. Frederick's back. So we're back to work on tiling here at the front on this column, just outside the area of the entrance. One of the two columns holding up the balcony for the master bedroom. In the carport, lots of work on tiling here, not exactly on the tiles themselves necessarily, although a couple of new ones have gone in. But we've got grout going in, black grout. That's going to look very interesting when it's finished. Here's something completely new. Doors. We have two options have been presented to us for interior doors. The dark one on the right and the lighter one on the left. What we're not entirely sure on, because it's not on the label, is whether both are engineered wood. The one on the left is engineered wood, the one on the right, we're not actually sure. We'll have to find out. So, comments please. Dark or light? I know which one I like, but give me some thoughts. Again, given the fact that most of the decoration around these doors, certainly in corridors at least, and hallways, is going to be pretty light coloured, probably very close to cream. So, put your votes in. Give me a comment. What do you think? One thing that's just been admitted to me is that the reason they switched over to grout is because they ran out of tiles. However, tiles have now arrived, so that will resume today. This is Adrian's bedroom, where we're about to get another ceiling fan. So it's been put in here. I'm going to have a quick wander around the other rooms and see how many they've done already elsewhere. Just briefly back into the master bedroom. There was a question about whether the ceiling fans were all centered, and this one clearly is not at the moment. But again, that's why I think we're 99% certain this light fixture will come out and the ceiling fan will be relocated. Tom Vines asked whether these recessed lights are dimmable. Well, At the moment, they're kind of anything we want them to be because there's no light bulbs in them, and that's what would be the key factor. But I am going to be telling them that at this point there is really no benefit of putting in dimmable bulbs because I have no way to control them properly. What I've not been able to find for 220 volt power supply are reliable, smart dimmer switches. They may be available. There may be some that are brands that I'm not familiar with, but I don't want to put them in unless I can integrate everything into the smart home platform that we're going to put here. And from what I've seen online, I just can't get reliable, smart dimmer switches here. So at this point, no. Tom, we're going to put in just standard, non-dimmable light bulbs into here. At some point in the future, we could change that. Mr. Willie, just doing a bit of tidy up, but has been putting more paint on the walls up here in the hallway. There's not much space in here, which is why I'm almost in Ernie's back pocket. But more sanding going on in Alex's room prior to, I imagine, more skim coat in here. And Herwin's back on a platform. Once again, adding the glazing putty, because it's a wooden surface, up on the ceiling to try and get that as smooth as possible. It's 4:30. The bell has gone. The guys are out. Which means it's that time of day. Today's contribution is from Bob Twid Philippines 101, who says, I used to run a dating service for chickens, but I was struggling to make hens meet. Let's go and see what's been going on. Inside the spa area, above the hot tub, Mr. Rene was busy again. We did get more tiles, this kind of stone appearance. So all along the top is now done, which still leaves us with just that little section along the bottom and then the top tiles around about a third or so of the top of the hot tub itself, or the jacuzzi if you prefer. We have a new door going into the helper's room. Pretty, isn't it? It's just for a bit of added security. We've got a couple of large items delivered today. It's just to make sure nobody can get in there. I mean, to be honest, even if they got in there, these items are way too big to be carried away. But this just adds a little extra layer. In case you'd forgotten, these little wooden things still here. Be patient. Inside the living room, still being used as a storage room. However, they managed to work around it, and we do now have the ceiling fan in here. Back at the front of the house, another column nearly fully tiled. Little bit down at the bottom, little bit heading up higher, but up, at least up into the top of the ground floor, almost done. Inside the carport, not much more here. Mr. Rene was working on this previously, given that he was called away to the spa area. We're still left with a little bit of tiling at this end and all the way down the front, because the tiles will extend to the outside edge of these columns. And take another dizzy pill. I haven't had one of those for a while. All the way along the back, still needs to be done. In Sabrina's room, we've nearly got a ceiling fan. Got the bracket and the wiring in place, but not actually the fan itself. She had asked for the fan to be black, which unfortunately we can't quite get to what she's looking for, but it is a fairly dark brown. Hopefully that works almost as well. In fact, it'll be one of these. So the main body is silver, but the paddles I'm not sure if that's the right name. They are dark brown, so it's a nice contrast, I think. In the master bathroom, nothing new in here, just a little reminder of things still to be done. So we've still not quite got the ducting all connected up at this end of the room for the exhaust fan that will be in here. So that little bit of ceiling has to be then added back. Still plenty of bits of lights and other things in here still to go. And a little bit more painting towards this end. Previously, I think I said that this light fixture we were 99% sure was going to come out. It's 100% now. So that light will come out of here and the ceiling fan will then be recentered in the center, surprisingly. Up on the ceiling, the double height entrance, it's not completely obvious, but there has been more skim coat equivalent going up on the woodwork that's up in the ceiling here. No sign of the Windows guys again today, and I honestly have no idea when they'll be back. But here's a fairly glaring example of where things aren't finished, and there's quite a lot still to be done with this installation. So I'm hoping they come back fairly soon. I still think it's most likely only going to be when they finish the sliding doors that will go into the dining room and then across the back of the sunroom leading out to the patio. So it may be we've just got to be patient for a little bit longer. That is the end of the day. A day that was, for almost all of it, very wet, very grey and really quite miserable. And it meant that I did have to protect my amazing coiffure. Apologies for that. So today, still more electrical stuff going on with those ceiling fans in particular. A lot more painting and skim coating. We still have 3 painters on site. So although they're not getting much of the attention that you see, they are very, very busy with a lot more wall covering still. Tiling, continuing. And back to 2 tilers, that's nice. And I'm sure 100 other little things going on around. We are continuing to make decisions on a fairly non-stop basis. Things like today was the specifics of the granite to be used. We'd already decided for the kitchens, but then we had to extend that decision to cover the wash basin cabinets, the wabakas, in all of the bathrooms. So that decision's been made and communicated back based on some samples that we were given by the builder. And it's things like that that are going on every day. Again, I know I keep banging on about this, but it highlights the fact that if you are going to do this, whether it's the Philippines or anywhere else in the world, be there as much as you possibly can. And yes, once again, we are very fortunate that we can be here almost all the time, but it just keeps being brought home to me with the literally hundreds of discussions that we have over the course of a month. How many things need your input? And there may be things that you thought you decided and then you see a draft of something and it's not quite what you expected. It may be something that you completely got wrong. But being there allows you to see what's happening, not just on a piece of paper, and then see the practicality of the decisions that you're making or that the builder is making for you. Be there if you can. That's it. We'll be back tomorrow with maybe a full day. That would be a nice, something new. We'll try. See you then.